Hey, welcome back to Jordan Price Podcast, episode number 3. We're talking about farming. I have my special guest here, Chris Meyer. Chris, you want to give a little story about yourself, where you're from, age, whatever you want to talk about yourself, get people to understand who you are?
Well, like you said, my name is Chris Meyer. I grew up on a small grain and hay farm just north of Sigel. Um, this small little family operation, you know, had cows when I was a little kid, but had to get out of it and just kind of grew up farming most of my life. And
So, like, what was like your favorite part about like farming? I know you grew up with it, but like, and you kind of got out of it, kind of made your own. I guess like your own little path, do your own thing. What really like sticks with you, with being around like the farming community? Because we're from Effingham, Illinois, and the surrounding areas. It's Catholic church and farms and bars. That's what we do. So kind of like give us a little rundown of what like keeps your love into the farming community.
well, I mean, you get into it. There's a lot of tight knit community in it. Like there's people I'll run into here and there, and
That was my bad. Wrong button. Sorry. What? Okay. Anyways, go back. Sorry.
but like I'll run into somebody random at a bar and start talking to them, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, blah blah, this person," and sit there and listen to them. Wait, you know that person? Yeah, I grew up. Fuck, I know them. Known them all my fucking life. And it's just interesting the people you run into and how you can make connections to them and shit.
So like my favorite part was like I remember going around hanging out with other farmers helping out. And my favorite part was the small gas stations with all the old guys
Oh yeah,
just sitting there drinking coffee and just shooting the shit, You got the one farmer who's like, I've been up since freaking 3 in the morning, and he's over here drinking a coffee with definitely no shot of booze in it. And he's just sitting there and he's like the funniest one at the table. And you got like the old school farmer Christian heads, that like are like, we praying for good rain, which we ended up getting rain today. Today is the 20th. Um, and I'm it's definitely nice to see the rain. So where do you so how's the crops right now on your side of town going? Like as far as like it wasn't as much rain as you needed probably because we
no.
kind of had a little drought. So where you guys sitting on that you know?
Well, I mean, like I said, it wasn't as much rain as we needed, and it came a little late. If we had got it about 2 to 3 weeks ago, it really helped out finishing out the crop and whatnot. It helped a lot of guys, but I mean, the yields are still looking decent, which is good because let's be honest, man. Right now, farming ain't easy. Fucking inputs are high. What we're getting for grain prices ain't shit.
And a lot of people that don't understand the farming thing is uh when things like that happen. I mean, so like I remember talking with you quite a few years ago, and probably not that long, but I remember talking, be like, and with other farmers too. It's like my family's a multi-millionaire, but we'll never see it
Yeah,
between like the equipment and everything else that's uh going on. Like even if you were to sell everything, land, house, all that jazz, you're just gonna get bought out by some mega farmer who's not really into it for the love of farming, but just for the money aspect and the insurance of having it. So
right.
how do you feel about like big farming people coming in to try to take over small farming families?
I mean, I got a lot to talk about on that topic.
Well, let's not say anything to get you in trouble, but let's like it's kind of like let's call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah,
there's something that needs to be said, like let it be said. That's what these platforms are for, is to get out there and explain it.
I mean, there's a lot of guys these days that they, well, we got a couple in my neck of the woods. They farm fucking 30, 40, 50,000 acres, and they'll come in and rent the field right next to you for 350 an acre cash rent on ground that won't grow it, but they own something just on the other side of it, and it makes the drive that much more worth it.
Right, so they'll get like some crops out of that, but not. It's just mostly owning it, you think?
Yeah, and then they'll rent your ground. They'll get it for 5 years. They won't hardly put anything into it, and then when they used up all the nutrients in it, they'll just tell you, "Yeah, get fucked. Go find somebody else to rent it." And then you still think the landlord guy who owns it still thinks he can get 350 an acre cash rent, but it'll never, like I said, it wouldn't grow it to start with, and now he's thinking he can get it when they took all the nutrients and shit out of the ground.
So now, like when stuff like that, so I've heard a lot of people actually say that, actually like sitting there with like the old farm heads and stuff, and they like drinking coffee, like out, in the little gas stations and stuff, and they'll be talking, and there's a lot of like the sad part is, farming is sadly becoming a lost art when it comes to small family farms like yours, because when the kids get older, they have other ambitions and other things they want to, not necessarily your family farm, but a lot of them, and I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
Farms that have been in their family for, generation upon generation upon generations, and the kids just don't want nothing to do with it, so they have kind of no other option but to give to the big guy that wants to buy it and farm it. But once they're done, pretty much what you said, once they're done using that land, they just don't care. It's like, all right, like you said, we used up everything. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like, you have to till up that land and keep it, you got to keep it going, that land stays too, from what I understand, if the ground stays too firm without being tilled up or moved around or have the nutrients put in it, then it could be years before you get a good crop out of it.
Well, and I mean, you don't necessarily have to do all the tillage and everything, because like we're a no-till farm. We don't really do much spring tillage, fall tillage, anything like that. We do a lot of no-till stuff because, I mean, it works for us on our ground. It might not be for everybody, but we're still looking at yield checked 100 bushel beans this year, 100 bushel the acre soybeans, and that's phenomenal for where we're at.
Well, you guys are right down by like the creek and stuff, so like you're kind of like, is your guys' land like lower to where that's the reason why like the field is so good? Well, you don't have to do that, because I know a lot of people in a higher elevation, they have to do the
well, I mean, we got a little bit of a mixture. We got some high white, and we got about 20 acres that we actually farm down in the river bottoms. All together down there, we probably got about 70, but only 20 of it we can actually get across. Because, there's small patches here and there in the woods, and a small patch on the far side of the river. And
so I know there was a thing that you wanted to talk about. So sharing so you have a story about whenever you were in one of your tractors and a car ran out in front of you and whatnot, and then so explain that story. And while you're explaining that story, I'm gonna just check the mic and stuff. So you go ahead and explain that story to the viewers.
Yeah, so like he said, I kind of got a little bit of an interesting story. There was one fall I was hauling grain into Effingham here, which is a decent little haul from the farm. And I was coming up on a bridge, and somebody coming from the other way just kind of didn't pay attention, didn't see what was going on. I was already damn near on the bridge, and they just come blaring down the road, fucking 90 mile an hour. and completely ran me off the road. I about hit the fucking bridge by locking up the brakes and slamming on the clutch in the tractor to get it woed because there was not enough room for both of us on it.
So whenever that happened, did they like yell at you, like you were the problem, or did you just keep going and not even care?
Oh, they just kept going. Didn't even give a fuck. Didn't pay attention. It was just, whatever.
So like that's a big thing around here. So a lot of you people that are probably aren't from like a farming area like we are, you know. I mean, he's a farmer guy. I worked on some farms and helped out and stuff like that, but never claimed to be a farmer. But I feel for him because I grew up around him. So a lot of people don't understand is like, um, that's their livelihood. You know what I mean? Like that's their livelihood. That's how they make money to feed their families. And the one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is, you know, you cut somebody off like that, and then say you have a trailer full of all day you were filling up, and it spills on the road. What? So when it does spill on the road like that, what happens to that?
I mean, you can recover a good chunk of it, but you'll never get it all the way back. There's always going to be losses in that situation.
Right, and that's a lot of time and money.
Yeah, that's damn near a whole day just to clean up. It's like our teams or wagons we pulled, they're like 500 bushels a piece. I know a lot of y'all that probably don't make a whole lot of sense to, but to put that in perspective, a single bushel of corn weighs 56 pounds. A single bushel of soybeans and wheat weighs about 60 pounds.
Okay.
And like the average weight on like the tractor I was on that day, it's right in around 7 tons, 14,000 pounds. That shit don't stop on a dime.
No.
You got to give us time to get slowed down and load because we can't just stop it.
No, it's like a semi.
Yeah.
You know? Like my dad's been a semi driver for 30 plus years. He's actually going to be on the podcast here soon, so definitely pay attention for that. He's going to be talking semi life. If you guys ever watch Mick Podcast or Mick Podcast 2.0, you can look up the videos on Facebook. But yeah, I mean, you people don't understand like whenever you have that much weight. I mean, think about like as you're a runner and as you're trying to stop after running a full sprint, and you have somebody pushing you forward. And what do you think is going to happen? You're going to lose traction. You're just going to fall over. Well, the same thing. So you got those trailers falling behind the truck, and then it's just going to start fishtailing.
Right.
Especially if it's on a field road where they have all that dust and stuff. It's like when people mow their yards and they blow all the grass into the road. It's like ice when it comes to motorcycles and stuff trying to go through it. And
Right.
that's why every time I see somebody blowing grass or leaves or stuff in the road, I'm like, do you realize if a motorcycle comes through here, you probably will kill them. They'll probably slide off the road because
Yeah, because they just can't catch traction on it.
and sadly, a lot of people's main mistake is they use the front brake.
Yeah.
And whenever I used to ride, I never used the front brake. I'm a back brake guy. I don't like front brakes. They're dangerous, especially on gravel road, and especially whenever there's grass or hay or something on the road.
Yeah.
So that's why I also bring caution to motorcycle riders to, if you see a farmer doing your thing, slow down. You can see the dust. You know they're doing what they're doing, but that's just, it's their, they can't have somebody there with a fucking leaf blower the whole time blowing it out of the road, which I do see some farmers nowadays doing that.
Right.
And a lot of farmers have to start seeing motorcycles on their barns and stuff. Because motorcycle riders like to hit the back roads, man. It's great scenery, it's great roads, it's good pullover areas.
Well, I know a lot of farmers that ride motorcycles themselves. So.
Yeah. I've seen a trike actually be slid off the road by gas and stuff being on the road. And it's just, sadly, that's just, it's part of the ride, like you're people don't understand that. So whenever you were farming, so you still farm here and there.
I mean, yeah, I still go out. I spend usually most Saturdays. I'll go out and spend time out there helping my dad and brother because they both still live on the operation. I moved into town about a year ago or so.
Yeah, and I've been to his farmhouse, and let me tell you, you want to talk about some great farm cooking food. Your mama, she can cook some darn good food, man. I tell you.
Your grandma was pretty good too.
Yeah. I think I only was there once. I think I don't remember. It's been a very long time since I've been there.
Well, and when about the time you started coming around and whatnot, Grandma was already starting to lose her mind, so we didn't really trust her cooking anymore.
You're right, Grandma. Why is everybody really hungry? I found these beautiful tea leaves. No.
I still remember the time we caught her in there trying to make a cake, and she used to keep, vegetable oil and stuff like that under the sink. Well, we had tried to move all that stuff up out of her reach, but didn't think about it, and had left the pine saw for sweeping the floor, mopping the floor under the sink.
Oh no!
Or we moved it there, and well, she wasn't, like I said, she wasn't quite in the right state of mind, and she grabbed it and tried using it, and good thing we got her stopped before she got all the way made.
Why does it smell like pine saw in here? Oh, these noodles sound woodly fresh.
So, I mean, that's just what everybody wants, right? A chocolate zucchini and pine saw cake.
Dude, I heard it's a delicacy in some countries. But yeah, no, I remember going over there to eat. I was with your brother and stuff, and we came over there. And I think it was around the 4th of July. You guys had a little shindig out there by the barn.
Yeah, we do, randomly here and there we'll have little shindigs and break out the grill or I had the Blackstone there for quite a long time, and we'd break it out. And
I remember you bring that to Mark's place quite a few times. Whenever he had his property out in mode, we had
oh yeah, that thing was a burger cooking motherfucker.
Dude, he was the fucking grill king, and then I would be over here like, if I was you, one of the guys that want to take over on the grill, because it's like, and it's funny because whenever I go out with one of my buddies, Brian,
yeah, and
we go out to Lake Sarah or something, or if we go anywhere to go fish and we're cooking, and I'm always like, I'm tired of being the fucking cook on the grill. I'm always the fucking cook, and then I'm like, I'm not doing it again, and then finally we'll start cooking, and I'm like, all right, I'll take over if I have to. Yeah. I just think I like to bitch about shit.
Well, I mean, that's a little bit of human DNA. Everybody always likes having something to bitch about. If you ask me, I mean.
Yeah, I love it. I love going out and just and if you don't know Mark Mathis, he's going to be on the podcast sometime soon this week. Him and his lady, also a good friend. I went to school with her for, pretty much all through school. We're really close and stuff, and I became close with Mark a little bit later. It's funny because actually Mark's mom.
Yeah, Cindy.
Yeah, she was a helper at the school, and she was always talking about her son, and come to find out that first 4th of July party that I went to, she was there doing pictures and stuff like she always does.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, she was my favorite. She was the coolest person. She helped teach a class and stuff every now and again, and I always looked forward to her being, because she was so funny, but she was like, I don't want to teach you the false about it. Like, I'm gonna teach you the real thing, which I really, really, really admired about her, because she loved doing it, and I could tell. And then just getting to become friends with Mark and you, and I was friends with your brother first, but then we became friends, and then I met your family, and it was a great time, and getting to know you guys over the years, is awesome, like uh being a part of, like being there to watch them two get married was awesome for me. And then seeing you there, and it's just like, it's funny how like God brings people together without knowing it,
Oh yeah, like, well, I mean, you were just talking a little bit before we got started. Like, me and Mark met at a Catholic church,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that'll make sense to some of you guys when you see him, and you'll find out why that's so funny when he's on the podcast. But
We'll save that when Mark's here. Maybe we'll bring you on too at the same time and see what happens.
yeah,
But I love how God brings like people together. Coming to that, I mean, think about like like all this stuff that's been happening on social media with all the movements and everything else going on. Think about like when all those movements were going on and everything. Something bad happens, and then next thing you know, you're seeing buildings getting burnt. Uh, hometowns and stuff getting
destroyed.
Yeah, like billboards being tore down, people's mom and pop businesses being burnt or broke into and robbed, and nobody's doing anything about it. Like, look at Chicago. I mean, Chicago actually has a bigger murder rate right now than Haiti and Afghanistan. I mean, just the other day there was 11 murders in one day. 11 murders in one day.
Well, I know a few people that live up there, and they'll tell you when you hear the gunshots and the everything else, that's not when you need to be scared. That's normal.
Yeah.
When you want to be scared up there is when you don't hear gunshots for more than 5 minutes, because then something big's about to fucking go down.
Yeah, and that's the sad part. Like my aunt, my aunt lived in Harvey, Illinois, which is like an hour and 45 minutes, I believe. Hour and 35, one of the two. I think it's hour and 45 minutes from Chicago, Harvey, Illinois. And I remember going there as a kid, and it was a beautiful place, with all these locals always, just out and about, walking around, And then now it's so bad. Like, we moved her and my uncle, Al, rest in peace. He passed away not too long ago. But we moved them down here because it was just so dangerous. She couldn't even walk her dog without, gunshots going off. And then you got JB fucking needs to lose a couple pounds, Pritzker, fucking, and the mayor of Chicago saying to Trump that, oh, everything's okay, it's all great, it's a beautiful place to come to, blah blah blah. And he's like, you're fucking dumb. Like,
yeah, that's
when people are like, I would rather go to Compton than go to Chicago, because
shit, you can't pay me enough to go to Chicago.
no. Like, and I used to take trips on the Amtrak all the time, because from Effingham, the Amtrak will take you down to Chicago. And I used to take the Amtrak all the time but now I went there a couple months ago, and I just sat in the subway, except for like going into a couple bars until my Amtrak was heading back to Effingham, and I fucking left. I didn't want to be there. I wasn't even there 20 minutes without hearing gunshots. And people are just walking like it's a normal thing, like you said earlier. It's just like, oh, this is normal. Or my favorite thing was, well, I could tell you're not from around here. And I'm like, even if I was, like, where I come from, we don't do that. Look at that fucking big heifer.
Yeah.
That fucking spider right there.
That's a big one.
He's a fucking pigger. Don't mind me while I take this fucker out of his fucking misery of being in my house.
Yeah, I mean, like, kind of hitting on a little bit more about sharing the roads and whatnot. I mean, you also got to think there's a lot of different sized equipment and shit that's out there. Fuck, another good story. I remember when I was a younger kid, I was probably 10, 11 years old. Back when we used to farm the river bottoms on Route 40, headed over towards Altamont Way.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
We had our tractor and planter down there because we were in the midst of planting, but we were out of seed and we were getting some more in Monday. So we didn't think nothing of it, just left the tractor down there, and we get a call. Well, Dad got seed Monday and headed out to the field to go finish planting, and yeah, the tractor wasn't there. We couldn't find it, didn't know where the fuck it went. We found it 2 weeks later at a tow yard. Because somebody that Saturday night decided to go fire it up and take it for a joyride.
Oh, no.
And wedged it on the bridge down there. Didn't even fold the planter up or nothing. 12 rows across, coming down 2-lane highway, just wedged it.
I bet your fucking dad was
fucking livid. That put us 2 weeks behind on getting everything in, which put us even further behind for the rest of the year, and all over somebody's decision to just.
How was that fucking explanation to your old man? How would that one go? Was there a belt anywhere nearby, or a shoe, or a freaking tomahawk?
I mean, he had time to calm down a little bit by the time he'd gotten home that day, but.
Oh, but he was still living.
Oh, yeah.
He put us 2 weeks behind. So did you guys end up getting it back, or was it like...
Yeah, we ended up getting the planter and the tractor back, but shit, it cost us $1,400 that we really didn't have to be spending at the time.
Yeah.
And like I said, it put us so much further behind, so it was that much harder to make that money back up, and it...
Yeah, that definitely... I definitely would not want to have been there for that one. That probably was a fucking... Who's going to be the one to explain it?
Well, and then a couple years afterwards, we were at a toy tractor show because, me, my dad, and my older brother Ricky were all avid collectors of them. And we had a guy come up and he apologized to Dad because he seen that kid that morning. It happened apparently 6 o'clock that Sunday morning.
Yeah.
The guy was on his way to church. And he seen him and he's like, I just thought it was somebody else. I didn't pay attention to whose tractor it was. Or whatever else. I just figured it was somebody who's fucking a little bit out of it, been farming all fucking night and shit, and didn't even pay attention. But I seen him hop off the tractor and start running.
Well, there's your sign. That's the thing, is like, I grew up around here and stuff, and I spent some time in Tennessee, Nashville, and Decaturville, Tennessee, and Kentucky, Indiana, and a bunch of other places I lived. And whenever I moved more up north, like bigger city areas, or just to visit, and I would walk in, cut off shirt, like fucking whatever, being me. And people be like, oh, fucking, they always had the same nickname, like Texas. And it's like, I've never lived in Texas. I've been to Texas, but I've never lived in Texas.
Right.
Yeah, but they always have like the same nicknames, like, oh, here comes Texas. And it's like, I'm not from, just because. I never knew I really had an accent until I fucking went other places and visited other places. And they're like, man, how far down south are you? And I'm like, I'm fucking Effingham, Illinois. And then, of course, the one thing, whenever you tell people you're from Illinois, they always expect, Chicago?
No, 4 hours away from there.
You realize Chicago is not the whole state of Illinois, right? It's up there. It's up there by fucking Michigan. Like, we're not, nah, like, it's not Chicago. I'm like, way down farther. 4 or 5 hours depending on traffic.
Right.
Or how good you are at bobbing and weaving through traffic. But that's the funny thing is I love when other people are like, I remember I was down in Florida and they're like, you got that accent. You from Louisiana? And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Well, it's like when I took that job over the road and I was traveling the nation and whatnot. I'd be down Kentucky, Tennessee, even some parts of Arkansas. They'd ask me how much further south I was from. I'm like,
not
way
as far
fucking,
as you.
way north, actually.
Not as far as you, brother. That's another funny thing is like, people are like, I always call people brother, and that's just, I think it stems a lot from like my Christian background.
Yeah.
Calling people brother or sister, stuff like that. It's just something we do.
Yeah. I mean, it's very common in this area.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, brother, and it's like, you don't even know me. It's like, well, I think it's a sign of respect, even though I don't know you, like, doesn't mean we're not. I mean, in my opinion, we're all brothers and sisters under God's eye.
Yeah. We
might not always see eye to eye, but it's a respect thing. It's a respect thing. I enjoy people that respect that whenever I say it. Like, I can go, like, my mom always used to say, like, you never knew a stranger, even as a child. I always became friends with people. Well, I became friends with older gentlemen, and other people because, like, I learned more from them. I learned a lot of my woodworking and, guitar stuff and music and everything, So, like, I'm one of part owners of Bad Mojo Tronics.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And I learned a lot of that, not only from my dad, mostly from my dad, but also from other people. I work with bands,
right.
as you know. I worked with Trapped, and I've worked with Richard Goodall. He's the guy that won America's Got Talent. I got to work with him and Matt Toon. Such a great guy. I got to work with Trapped twice. I actually got a couple of their posters up. I got to work with a bunch of other bands too, and like local bands. And let me tell you something about Effingham and the surrounding areas. Effingham, T-Town, Strasburg. We have a huge, very talented musician community in this area, and we're all about it,
Well, and honestly, in my true opinion, there's one artist I've seen the past few years, and so, man, that boy could go places if he really wanted to. Fucking Jacob Coons.
Yes, one of my friends. I went to high school with him. He's a really good friend of mine. Actually, his sticker is right there.
Yeah.
The Jacob Coons Experience. If you ever in the Effingham area, or if not, give him a like and follow on Facebook. Jacob Coons Experience.
He is extremely talented, and that boy could really be something if he wanted.
Dude, and he writes his own stuff.
Yeah, like last time I seen him over there at the Orchard, he played that song, Screw Your Top Country Radio, I Don't Want to Be a Part of That, whatever it was.
Yeah, here, let me grab one of his CDs, actually. He's a great guy. Great musician.
Yeah, like I said, that boy could go somewhere. He really could.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think he really cares to be mainstream or not.
Nah, he's a rebel.
And the thing I like about him the best is he actually feels everything he sings and does. And that's the kind of music I like, is, stuff you can feel the heart in it from the artist.
Yeah. So, this is Volume 1, The Madness, the Jacob Coons Experience, right here. He's got a song. See, it says, written by Jacob Coons.
Number 4 would be the one I was talking about, Country Radio.
Country Radio. Yeah, that's a great one. He's got so many others. And he always thanks everybody that comes on. This is an unopened copy, by the way. So if you subscribe, like, follow all the jazz, put your name down and the time that you did it and whatnot, and private message me, I will actually send you an unopened copy of his CD. And then I can probably talk to Jake and maybe get some t-shirts and Huggies and stuff sent to you.
Oh, yeah. And he's just the greatest fucking guy ever.
Oh, dude, he's so nice. So nice. Like I said, I went to school with him. I also worked with him at Effenbrew.
Yeah.
Back when he worked there. And we partied hard back then. I mean, everybody there partied. I mean, you partied with us down in the basement, dude. Nothing but free booze and just getting fucking hammered.
It just kind of reminds me of
Effenbrew.
When I was 21, 22, you used to go to the brick bat all the time over in T-Town. And, I don't know, fuck it, this guy's no longer owning the bar here in a couple weeks anyways. He's going under, but, man, we'd go in there, we'd drink all fucking night. They'd shut down at midnight or so on a Thursday. Next thing you know, he's like, hell, come on back in. Let's keep drinking. I'm not done drinking yet. So you'd go back in, you'd start drinking your to-go you already had, and
that's how
you'd run out and be like, hey, mind if I grab another? Yeah, go for it. You'd try to leave money. He'd fucking light it on fire sitting on the bar there.
Yeah, no. Well, that's the thing about this. But there's also another musician who's actually a really good friend of mine. He actually did my my birthday. Jack Daniel. Jack Daniel. He also is a good friend of mine. He was on my McPodcast 2.0. I had him on and a couple other people on as well, and they did a live video. But this is one of his CDs. I also have an unopened copy. So, like I said, subscribe, like, follow, share. Write down your name and message me, and I will also send you a free copy. And see about. He also has what do you call those little peg things on the back of your phone? Little
pop sockets.
Yeah, pop socket thingies. But yeah, Jack Daniel, great friend of mine. Really cool dude. He sang at my birthday. I didn't make it all the way through the night. I was pretty fucking hammered.
Yeah, I still apologize for not showing up. I completely forgot about it till like 2 days after, and I said something to somebody, and like, yeah, I think I got a birthday party I go to one of these days coming up. I can't remember when exactly. And I said your name. Like, oh, that was last weekend, dumbass. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. It's all right because I didn't make it all the way through the night. But he is such a great artist and songwriter, and his wife is amazing as well. And huge support for him, and he mentions that all the time, that he wouldn't be where he was, not only without his dad, but his wife as well. Just a good old boy. He's just a great old boy. Same with Jake and a lot of other bands. You know, we have Hot Mess, Strangers with Candy, Clincher, Flood.
I've never seen him
Flight
live.
50, Flight 50. Carson is I won't say his last name, but Carson, just because I wasn't given permission to say so. But great band. Anybody, I think it's a thing to where you cannot technically be married unless Carson does your wedding, and it's in T-Town.
Yeah.
You're not officially married until Carson does your wedding. He's a brilliant man, great voice, damn good guitar player.
Oh yeah,
Marty is a very talented guitar player as well. And then you got Nash. He's a great guitar drummer. Just the whole band's just they're Adam, the bass player, just great. All these bands in this area, and it's funny because everybody's like, oh, Nashville this now. I'm like, yeah, well, that's where everybody goes.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody goes to Nashville.
I've been to Nashville. I done a 3-day project down there once when I was over the road. And, yeah, I mean, we went down Broadway and...
Yeah, I lived down that one.
And, you know, I've heard better live music here. Honestly, that might be a hot take, but I have.
I totally agree. And the beer's cheaper.
Yeah. You can actually afford to drink here.
Yeah. Or if you're smart, you just go up to the bar and order a beer every now and again, but you just go to your car and grab one.
Well, I mean, a lot of places they do live music. It's all outside in their parking lot, so it ain't nothing to slip over the cooler in the bed of the truck and just grab another.
Yeah, and they don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean.
If you do it too often, yeah, they're going to notice, but.
Yeah. That's why you got to go up there every so often, at least get a couple.
Right.
You know, or buy a round, and then you can just go back to the car every now and again.
Buy around for you and your buddies, and
right.
then they don't fucking usually yell at you too hard. And if they see you doing it, then they scold you a little bit, but
yeah, they're like, all right, you can't do that. And if I see you doing it again, we're gonna have to ask you to leave. But then you do it again, and they don't care. But that's the thing. That's what I love. Like everybody's like, man, like Illinois, fuck Illinois, and all this. And I'm like, I agree with the taxes and the craziness, but in my opinion, I think the problem with Illinois is Chicago and the governor. Yeah. The governor is the problem, and the mayor of Chicago is the problem. That's why I was a part of the make Chicago its own state.
Well, I think it's still on the legislative ballot, but I doubt it ever gets passed.
Yeah. I was a part of it. I was a part of it, and I wasn't the only one. There's a bunch of
I was a big supporter of it. I mean,
huge. I was there. I did a lot of interviews with people.
But the sad thing is, we know we'll never get it accomplished because Chicago will never stand on its own as a state.
Well, no, because they need all the small people to keep them alive.
They need us downstaters making the money off agriculture that brings on all the tax money.
That's why we see, and that's why I'm glad you said that, because everything comes back to farming. Illinois is, especially from where we're at,
yeah,
and not even just us, but like if you take Effingham, Illinois, and you put a 80 to 100-mile radius, that's usually all farming area.
Yeah,
always, even farther. It's not till you get more up north.
I mean, you really got to get 3.5 hours away from here before you really start hitting too big of metropolises and whatnot.
Yeah. The old concrete prison. That's what my old man used to call it. Concrete prisons.
You got to be within a half hour of Chicago before you really start hitting anything like that. And that's like you said earlier, everybody thinking, oh, Illinois, you mean Chicago. No. There is so much in this state that is not Chicago. It's insane.
Oh, dude, there's so many cool places around here. I mean, you go 2 hours south from us, you got Carbondale. Used to party there hardcore. If you know Carbondale University, it's a party.
Good old Seedale.
Yeah, you got fucking, I used to take the Amtrak all the time to Carbondale. $12, 2 hour fucking drive, but you could take an Amtrak and be there in less than that.
Well, like me and Toby used to go here and there when...
it's such a fun ride, too.
We had a couple kids from T-Town that were going to college down there at SIUE, or SIUC, I guess. Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. They had a little frat house there that was nothing but kids from T-Town.
Yeah, party.
And we would go down there, crash in their spare room, and just fucking... run the streets.
Or in the basement. I know one place I play that I was at. We stayed in the basement. I did a podcast there, and it was definitely wild. I never posted the video.
Oh shit!
Because it was like fucking.
One of those
girls got wild.
I was gonna say one of those. It was probably just too much going on. Like,
dude, like titties, like just chicks pulling up shirts and. Couple of chicks pulling down pants, and I'm like, oh my lord. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, so I talked to the owner of the house, and I was like, listen, man, I said, this is fun, but like I'm trying to do like a legit podcast here. And he's like, well, you're in the wrong place. And I'm like, I think I came to. So I ended up packing up all my gear. This is all new gear to me, so if the sound is a little messed up, my apologies, and I will definitely get into fixing that. But it was just so much fun. Like, we had so much fun. And my favorite part was like you got Solar Bear and Polar Bear and Unofficial and all this. Solar Bear was fun because it was like in the summertime. You got chicks in bikinis walking around and you know.
I always kind of like going down there for the chili cook-off weekend.
Oh yes, yes. There's a gas station there actually that has the best chicken, the best fried chicken.
Oh yeah.
Very wet, moist, like not dry. Like it makes KFC look like a pussy.
Yeah, KFC fried chicken ain't exactly all that great anyway.
No, not like it used to be.
No.
Either that or it's my taste buds fucked up. I don't know if that's just me or maybe you agree with me on that.
I mean, I never was a massive fan of KFC. It's alright, but
Yeah, it's like if the Colonel was alive, he would not be happy.
He would he's pissed.
And he was never a colonel. That's the funny thing.
He never was in the military or anything.
No. He never was. And the funny thing, my favorite thing is like how like so. If anybody watched my old podcast, I always bring up Adam Sandler, and I love how he always used to bring up Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders has been eating his own chicken. I don't know. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
But he's always doing Popeye or KFC joke and Popeye jokes and all these other things. But like the thing I love about our friend group is like we usually agree on most things, but the things we don't agree with, we always seem to find a
common ground. Yeah.
It's like I don't agree, but I see where you're coming from. And then vice versa. They say, well, I also see where you're coming from. But we work out a way. Now, I see a lot of friends that, like, you know, we're friends all through school. Like, you know, junior high or before junior high all the way to high school. And then things change.
Right.
People's mentalities change. The way they look at things change. And then you're always wondering, like, whatever happened, you know, like one of my friends, like I was there for him always, and he was always there for me. Well, then he goes out and he's doing good for himself, and then next thing you know, I never hear from him.
Yeah.
Until he comes back and he fucks up, and then they come around.
Yeah. Then there's like, hey, can you help me out? Can you?
Yeah, and it's like, well, where were you whenever like my family member died and I had somebody to talk to, and you were nowhere to be found. Like,
right.
Like where were you then? You know. But the thing about like us is like we all didn't start hanging out. I don't know if somebody's getting a call or what. Here. Hear that?
Yeah, I hear the back feed. That's why I'm moving my phone away from everything, trying to hope it ain't it.
Well, I should have mine on do not disturb. But like that's the thing. It's like I find more common ground with hanging out with people as we're adults now.
Yeah. Well, and that's something I thoroughly agree with. Like, I've met so many people in this world that it's my opinion or you're wrong and we're going to yell and scream at each other and it gets nothing accomplished because yelling and screaming doesn't change you yelling and screaming at me doesn't change my opinion.
That just makes me feel like my opinion's
more valid.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because if all you're going to do is scream and yell, then where was the accomplishment on that?
Right. Like, exactly like I was saying, like, there was somebody I worked with over the road, and she would yell and scream, and if you had a different opinion of her, you were automatically wrong, but she couldn't give a valid argument to her reason other than, well, it's how I feel, so you ought to feel this way.
Right. Well, so where is the common ground?
There wasn't any. She refused to see any other viewpoint other than hers.
Exactly. So, and that's why I was telling you earlier about like me wanting to do this podcast, having two people from the left and having two people from the right.
Yeah.
Now that sounds like a stupidity move on my part, but I'm not doing it to have like a Jerry Springer coming at each other moment. I'm trying to have those two have that come together and me be the mediator because I see where they're coming from on this side, and I see where they're coming from on this side. But there's a middle ground. There's a middle ground that's somewhere that we agree. So we're not too different.
Right.
Like, my biggest thing is, like, I don't care if you want to call yourself a woman, be a woman. Just keep it out of schools. Keep it away from children.
Yeah,
Let children be children.
Let them be children.
And don't go to the bathroom that you're not supposed to be in.
And I'm not saying they can't teach it to kids, but let them get into high school, junior high at least.
Yeah, let their minds be more developed than, because you've been seeing, like, back then where they were, like, putting drag people into, like, you know, like, into, like, preschools and first grade, second grade, third grade, you know, and it's like, well, no, I don't agree with that. Like, because kids at that time are impressionable. I know it says in the Bible, like, to be like children. Like, to love God and read the Bible and be like be like little children, as in you understand.
Right.
Not, and the crazy thing is, I was listening to a podcast, and I won't say the name just because I am sort of friends with one of the guys that runs it, but he had somebody on that said, well, it says, like, be like little children. Like, isn't that pretty sexual towards? And I'm like, I think you blew that way out of context.
Yeah.
It says, have an open heart, have an understanding.
Well, I mean, think of it. Racism and everything is learned behavior.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, all that is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, it all is.
So when it's saying be like children, it means more like keep an open mind.
Right.
Interact with people different than you and see their points of views and see what they're coming at.
Right, because adults are stuck.
Yeah, we're stuck in our ways.
One-minded. But if you give time to open up your mind to different things and stuff like that, then you'll start to see a better version of what you were talking about. So I'm not going to sit there and be like, you're wrong, I'm right, always, I'm on top, you're on bottom. No, I want to open up the mind of that person and be like, okay, now explain to me without hundreds of people behind you. You know, explain why you feel that way. And then I'll explain why I feel my way. And they'll explain that, and vice versa. Like, going into just like, you're wrong, you're an idiot, whatever you believe in is stupid, stuff like that. Well, why do you think they get offensive?
Right.
Why do you think they get offensive about it? Like, because you could change somebody's thought pattern by talking and having an open mind. But you can't change somebody's mind process by just downgrading them because everything they say is stupid. Well, they probably think everything I believe is stupid.
How political are we allowed to get on this thing?
Well, like I said, as long as you don't do any threats towards, which I know you won't, but as long as you don't do any threats towards or harming anybody, you're fine.
So I don't believe in the two-party system.
Okay.
I believe there ought to be more options. And I don't think that aligning along your political lines of where you have to swear to should be a thing. Like, one of our founding fathers, George Washington, even said that we need to avoid a two-party system because it doesn't leave enough open for anybody and everybody to make their own opinions.
Okay. See where you're at. Okay. So now take that into more of a context of what you're meaning. So like okay.
Well, like if you
this is a good one. I'm glad you brought it up. It's a really good one.
You had to classify political.
I think we might hit our hour.
I think we're pretty close to it already.
Well, let's keep it going, brother.
But I think if you have to classify me as my political views, I'm kind of a libertarian.
Okay, as in what?
Well, my political views are I want legally gay married people to be able to protect their legally grown pot plants with their legally owned fully automatic weapons.
Okay, so you believe in so
Let
that
people be them.
right. So you kind of went off there on me. All right, so I'm a firm believer in guns. Obviously, I own some, more than some. But okay, so the gay marriage thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well that is, I that's okay with me. Um, I'm totally okay. I have gay friends. I have lesbian friends.
I've got several, and they're great people.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, that's completely okay. I'm totally okay with that. So that should be a decision on those people.
Right.
But knowing that people are going to have hatred towards that for stupidity reasons, in my opinion,
Yeah.
are what they call religious reasons. That's why I'm not religious. I'm not religious. I am non-denominational Catholic. I hate religion. I love God. I hate the whole form of, if you don't do this and you don't do and you don't do this and you don't do that, then you're not going to get in heaven. I don't believe in that. When Jesus walked the earth, he walked with the sinners,
Right.
and everything, and just tried to give them a better understanding of where to go, and you know, to get into heaven, to be with the Father. And so that's one thing. So for you to do that, and then you automatically hit on other people because that's what they believe different, is understandable to an extent, as long as you're not putting harm towards other people for their beliefs. You know, like having an open forum like we're doing here, even if we were out in public, and
Right.
say there's people in the crowd saying that they're going to murder us because we don't believe how they believe. That's stupid.
Well, and that's another thing. Like, I refuse to discuss politics in a bar. Because you know how many times I've damn near
Well,
been
that's a
in
rule.
fist fights?
That's a rule. There, I've been a bartender. You know that.
Yeah.
Politics and religion do not belong in a bar.
No.
Because not only, like, which I have had really good conversations with people in a bar about these, but I know the people I could talk to and the people I can't. Well, when the liquor's flowing on a weekend and everybody's getting hammered up and feeling pretty good, that's the wrong place to do it. If I'm just meeting up when the bar opens and I'm talking to some old heads, you know, some
Right.
old people,
The older crowd
It's
come in
easy.
around
It's
noon
easy.
and just
But
have a
it's the-
couple and
right? It's the newer generation that tends to have a problem,
yeah.
sadly.
Well, I mean, they get all liquored up and then fucking
Yeah.
3/4 of the way through the night, then they're say something, somebody else like, you know, I don't really see it that way. I see it this way.
Right.
But they're already too far gone, and then they want to fight over
You
it.
can't change their mind.
Right.
You can't change their mind. And the reason why you can't change their mind is because the liquor's taken over, and then they automatically think they're correct. There's two people in this town, and I'm not saying names, but I'm pretty sure we both know who we're talking about. But it's like, no matter what I say, they're gonna overtalk you, and they won't stop.
Yes.
They won't stop, and they'll keep going and going, and finally,
Eventually, it's the point you just have to try to avoid them.
yeah, like, or I just walk away. I just walk. I'll
Go to a different
somewhere
bar,
else.
go-
Yeah, because it's like, it's kind of like talking to a brick wall. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the guy that gets mad when he's drunk and he just starts punching brick walls and he breaks his fucking hands, and then he wakes up wondering why he broke his hands.
Yeah.
It's like,
Kyle syndrome.
well, you think that brick wall has something to do with it? Because you have nothing else to say except for what you've heard online. But as far as your research, you know nothing.
Right.
You know nothing. You know nothing about what you're trying to hold to your conversation. So as soon as I put up a
Valid
fact,
argument.
then you're like, and what's the first comment they usually make? Racist.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, it's so easy to call somebody something because you have no backup to your argument.
Right.
You literally have no backup to your argument. So your whole entire argument turned to dust.
Well, and this might be a pretty hot take, but honestly, I ran into a lot more people over the road that were racist, that were black people. Honestly, I mean, it's sad and probably a little weird to say, but
Well, Spade's a spade.
I mean, before allowed to call a spade here, I ran into quite a few black people over the road that just, well, you wouldn't understand it's because you're white. Motherfuckers, I grew up poorer than you did. Yeah. You're saying this is a poor thing and I don't understand because I'm white? Fuck that.
Talk about racism, right?
Right.
You're pointing to my skin color of why I don't understand because I'm not your skin color. Would not be considered racism?
Yeah.
In a way. Or like white...
Self-segregation's never going to end racism.
Or like white privilege. Like, where is this white privilege? Because I haven't seen it yet.
Fuck, if I ever...
It would be nice to fucking figure out what fucking area that's in, because I'm down.
Yeah, I would love to go wherever that's at, because...
Well, what's one thing a black person can't do that a white person can? Nothing.
No.
There's nothing. There's nothing a black person can't do that a white person can't.
There's nothing a white person can do that a black
exactly
can, if you are in the right area. If that's true in your area, maybe move to a different area where it's not.
But it's all about, if you want something bad enough in life, you do anything and everything to achieve it.
Right.
How far are you willing to go to achieve this goal? There is no better place in the world to be a person of color or belief than America.
Yeah.
The one place that you're allowed to have freedom of speech and burn a flag without getting in trouble, except for now, since Trump moved that, burning a flag, that's a year in prison. Which I totally agree. If you don't like it, move.
Yeah.
I'll help you pack.
Go ahead.
Like,
because try that shit in Canada.
Try that shit in Mexico. Try burning a Mexican flag in Mexico. You will be killed before you even make it to the fucking jailhouse.
Right.
Or whatever the fuck you call it over there.
Yeah, that's going to be a small town mentality like old school South shit. They're going to fucking have you lynched up in the street before you even fucking know what's going on.
Right. Like, so my biggest thing is like, if you are so heartily believe in what you're doing and you're burning American flags and you're all for Mexico, which I'm not saying that, I mean, we have Mexican friends.
Yeah.
And they agree with us.
Yeah.
Like, I came here legally. My family came here legally. Why the fuck are we letting these other people, come in illegally? And I'm all for America.
And I don't have anything against immigration. If you go through the proper channels and come in here legally and actually try to contribute, and honestly, even though working over the road, I ran into some crews that weren't legal, like, at all.
Yeah.
And even then, I kind of supported them a little bit because, like, you would see them every Friday. They would go to whatever closest Western Union station or whatever, which is about every Walmart. They would mail everything home every week except for $100.
They keep that on them, yeah.
And that's just what they lived off on the week. They bring home, some of them crews, they bring home fucking $2-3 grand a week. And be sending it all home to support their families.
That's a lot of money. I mean, that's why I always try to explain to people. But let's face it, like, a lot, especially now with the fake news and fake social media accounts and all this other stuff, and these AI things that are coming around, is like, it's hard to believe anything that comes out of people's mouths because it's definitely not true. I mean, I don't know if you've seen, I know you don't really do the political thing, but the pictures of things getting thrown out of the White House and stuff, like out of the window, which those windows don't open up.
Yeah, no.
They're bulletproof windows, so it's an AI fucking thing. There's no way to open those. They're all bulletproof.
Right.
And it's just like, so people are like, oh, look at this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, do more research before you start opening up your fucking cocksucker, because you don't really know what you're talking about. You just see one thing online and you automatically jump. So, like, the podcasts I've been on, and not only the other ones I've been on, but my own podcast itself, people just automatically get into the hate mail, and they're just bashing me and threatening me, and I always tell them the same thing, like, I pray for you.
Yeah.
And I hope, you can figure something out, but in all reality, you're never going to fully comprehend anything until you start reading, and not just reading online. Like, Go to the library, pick up books, pick up history books, read actual history. Like, look up real document. And I have a whole list of documentaries, like, not just World War One or the Civil War and all this, like other books, like, so in school, like, Columbus Day, why we celebrate it, no clue why.
Yeah, no, he literally didn't do anything for this world.
No,
other than waste a ton of Spanish money for nothing.
No, not only that, but he was a sex trafficker, child molester, slave owner, and yet for some reason we support him.
Yeah,
and we support that holiday. I think we should take Christopher Columbus Day, take Columbus Day, and then turn it into Charlie Kirk Day. Like, why are we celebrating somebody that, honestly, really, in my opinion, did nothing?
Well, either that or something I think would be even better than Columbus Day. Let's support our natural history of Native Americans and whatnot, of the native people from this land.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I have a bit of Cherokee blood in me, but, let's go with, like, the first Navajo code talker. Why don't we support his birthday over Columbus's?
Right. And I have another podcast I want to be doing here in a couple weeks after I do that one. But I'm not going to go into detail with it, but it's probably going to be pretty controversial besides, the other one I'll be doing. But the same thing is going into actual details. It's like, like, the sun is yellow. No. Sun's not yellow, it's white.
Yeah, I was going to say, with as hard as it burns, it'd actually be white, but because of the ozone layer, it appears...
If the sun was yellow and it's snowing outside, why would the snow be white, not yellow?
Yeah.
Even if there's not a cloud in the sky. If the sun was actually yellow, then it would be glowing off of the sun being yellow. And that could be ozone layer, but it's not. It's like, it's like, oh, well, the moon controls the tide. Nah, it's not necessarily true. If you don't believe me, you can look up Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Look up the podcast where he talks about the moon not being in control of the tide. It's not necessarily the moon, it's the axis of the way the earth turns that controls
how the tides flow.
Exactly. It's got nothing to do with the moon. I mean, yes, you can say that, but the moon has nothing to do with it. It's the turn of the earth, the reason why it does that. It's got nothing to do with that. The same thing with, like, tsunamis don't fucking happen because of fucking where the moon's at. It's got to do with whenever the earth is moving in and it hits a heavy part and it breaks and it shakes. It's like dropping a pebble into water and you see the ripples go out.
Right.
The bigger the shake or the drop, the more it goes. So whenever you see the tide go out really fast, that means move.
Get the fuck away from it.
And go as fast as you can, because when you see it go out that
if you
quick,
can actually visually watch the tide drop, get the fuck out of there.
Because once it slams, it's just gonna come at you.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people all the time, like, if you see the tide go out really quick, your best bet, not always, but I would better safe than sorry kind of situation.
Like I said, if you can actually visually see the tide dropping.
Yeah. Like, because you can see the video. Have you seen videos of the tide actually just like going really quick, and everybody's just like, "What's going on?" It's like, get the frick out of town, because it's coming back, and it's not going to come back.
Well, I mean,
slowly.
What goes around comes around. Like, to every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Exactly. It's the same thing with So I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he went to college but he always likes to, like, kind of like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He takes pop culture and puts it into science. So it's like shooting a shotgun. You shoot it, and it has a quick pullback, and it just shoots forward. Same thing with when a tide comes out really, really quick, and it's way deeper down than it's supposed to be. And then the gun comes out of the barrel.
Bullet comes out of the barrel, yeah.
And it's just automatic. It just hits. Like, that's the same thing with whenever a tide goes back. That's the recoil of the earth. And then it hits, and then it just goes, and then it's like the ripple effect. You know, like dropping a pebble in the water. The littlest pebble, whenever it hits the water, has the smallest ripple. But as it builds the energy and it gets farther from the major impact, it gets bigger.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. It's like so people like, I don't know how you are with like with the readings of like your birth year, month, day, stuff like that. I think it's more of a mind trick.
I believe so, yeah.
Than it is really anything. And I know a lot of people, and I'm friends with a lot of people that believe in that stuff, and that's fine, you know. It's like,
I just failed to say when you were born, what year, and what month, how it truly affects who you are as a person. That more has to do with how you were raised, the people you were around.
right. It's like, cause like I'm going to be doing a study here on my own, but I'm going to be looking up like serial killers and all these other people, and figure out the day they were born and what their horoscope read whenever they were born, and see how officially legit that is.
Yeah.
To them. Because I think the only way you're ever going to find anything out is by actually doing a study on that person.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and do a brief pause and then come back for part 2 of episode 3. So, as always, big thanks to Chris being here. We'll be right back here after a little bit, and then we will start part 2. It's going to be a shorter video, but that just gives us time to go to the bathroom and regroup and everything like that. Plus, I got my dogs over here doing really good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing. Look at them.
The one's like passed out. And...
The other one's passed out.
Oh, I couldn't see the one right there next to you, but yeah, I can see the one out in the living room just.
Yeah, Lemmy, old Lim Dog Millionaire, he's all passed out. So yes, come back and join us for part 2. Part 2 is probably going to be about 20-30 minutes long, but we said that about this one.
Yeah, we said that about the first part. 30 minutes. And
yeah.
Well, we're sitting at what? Hour and 13?
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and then stop this, and then I'm going to also do some listening to it, make sure it all sounds good, and then we'll come back to you. So God bless, and me and Chris will be right back.